What does it take to stare into the face of despair and not only survive but thrive? Imagine a world where every step feels like walking against a hurricane, where the odds are stacked so high they seem insurmountable. Yet, somewhere in the shadows of adversity, individuals rise not because they were born extraordinary, but because they refused to let circumstance define them. Their stories aren't just tales of survival, they're blueprints of resilience, etched in the grit of human spirit. Consider this: a young woman, orphaned at 12, left to navigate a world that seemed to have no place for her. She could have vanished into the margins, another statistic lost to the chaos. But instead, she chose to fight not with fists, but with an unshakable determination to rewrite her story. By the time she was 25, she had built a thriving community center, a sanctuary for others who felt abandoned by the world. How does someone rise from the ashes of loss and rebuild a life that shines brighter than before? It's not luck. It's not fate. It's the relentless refusal to be broken. It's the quiet moments of courage, the decisions made in the dark, that forge a path to triumph. These are the echoes of resilience, voices that remind us that even in the bleakest moments, hope is not just a possibility, but a choice. What would you do if everything you loved was stripped away? Would you crumble, or would you find the strength to rise? This isn't just a question for the extraordinary, it's a challenge for every one of us. Because resilience isn't a trait reserved for the few, it's a muscle we all possess, waiting to be flexed. And sometimes, all it takes is one story to remind us of the power we hold within. What is it that drives us to rise after we fall? What ignites that spark within us to keep moving forward, even when the odds seem insurmountable? Resilience, this invisible force, is the heartbeat of human survival, the pulse that propels us through adversity. It's not just a trait, it's a testament to our ability to adapt, endure, and evolve. From the depths of personal loss to the heights of collective triumph, resilience is the thread that binds our stories together. It's the quiet strength that whispers, "Try again," when the world screams, "Give up." Science has long been fascinated by resilience, peeling back its layers to understand how the human brain and body respond to stress and trauma. Neuroscientists have discovered that resilience isn't just about bouncing back, it's about rewiring. Our brains, remarkably plastic, can forge new pathways, turning pain into power. Think of it as the ultimate act of defiance, transforming hardship into opportunity, fear into courage. But resilience isn't reserved for the extraordinary few. It's woven into the fabric of everyday life. It's the single parent working multiple jobs to provide for their family. It's the athlete pushing through injury to reclaim their place on the field. It's the scientist failing countless experiments only to make a breakthrough that changes the world. These stories aren't just inspiring, they're a mirror reflecting the resilience within all of us. Resilience is also deeply rooted in community. It's not just an individual journey, it's a collective force. When we lean on each other, share our struggles, and lift one another up, resilience becomes contagious. History is filled with moments where entire societies have risen from the ashes of disaster, proving that together, we are stronger than any obstacle. So, why does resilience matter? Because it's the essence of hope. It reminds us that no matter how dark the night, dawn is inevitable. It challenges us to confront our fears, embrace our imperfections, and find meaning in our struggles. Resilience isn't just about surviving, it's about thriving. It's the ultimate act of rebellion against despair, a declaration that we are more than our circumstances. In every scar, every tear, every moment of doubt, resilience speaks. It tells us that we are not defined by what breaks us but by how we rebuild. It's the echo of our ancestors' strength, the promise of our children's futures, and the unwavering belief that, no matter what, we can and will endure. This is the power of resilience, the unyielding force that shapes us, drives us, and ultimately, saves us. Imagine standing on the edge of a crumbling civilization, staring into the abyss of uncertainty. This was the reality for countless individuals throughout history who faced unimaginable challenges: wars, famines, plagues, and oppression. Yet, they endured. They rebuilt. They triumphed. These stories of resilience are not just footnotes in history, they are the backbone of human progress. From the ashes of destruction, civilizations rose again, proving that resilience is not just survival, it is transformation. How did they do it? What fueled their unyielding spirit? Let's dive into the past to uncover the roots of resilience that continue to inspire us today. Consider the fall of Rome, a once mighty empire that crumbled under its own weight. Yet, its legacy didn't vanish. The remnants of Roman culture, law, and architecture became the foundation for modern Europe. The people who survived its collapse didn't just rebuild cities, they preserved knowledge and ideas that would shape the Renaissance centuries later. Was it sheer luck? Or was it an unshakable determination to hold on to what mattered most? Resilience, in this case, was not about restoring what was lost, it was about creating something new from the fragments of the past. Fast forward to the horrors of the transatlantic slave trade, where millions were forcibly uprooted from their homes. Despite unimaginable suffering, enslaved people preserved their cultures, languages, and traditions in the face of dehumanization. They sang spirituals that carried coded messages of hope and freedom. They forged communities in the shadows of oppression. Their resilience wasn't just physical, it was spiritual, cultural, and deeply human. How did they find the strength to resist, to dream, to survive? Their stories remind us that resilience is not passive, it is an act of defiance against injustice. The Holocaust stands as one of the darkest chapters in human history, yet even in the depths of despair, stories of resilience shine through. And Frank's diary, written in hiding, became a testament to the enduring power of hope. Survivors who rebuilt their lives after the war carried with them not just memories of horror but also a commitment to ensure such atrocities never happened again. Their resilience transformed pain into purpose, fueling movements for human rights and justice. What drives someone to find light in the darkest of times? Their legacy teaches us that resilience is not just about enduring, it's about finding meaning in the midst of chaos. From the fall of empires to the fight for freedom, these historical examples are not isolated incidents, they are threads in the tapestry of human resilience. They show us that adversity, no matter how overwhelming, can be met with courage, creativity, and an unyielding will to persevere. These stories echo through time, reminding us that resilience is not a trait reserved for the extraordinary, it is woven into the fabric of humanity. As we face our own challenges today, we stand on the shoulders of those who came before us, drawing strength from their triumphs. The question is, how will we write the next chapter of resilience in our own lives? Resilience is not some mystical trait bestowed upon a chosen few, it's a psychological muscle, honed through adversity, failure, and relentless perseverance. But what makes some people bend without breaking, while others crumble under pressure? The answer lies in the intricate interplay of mindset, emotional regulation, and purpose. It's not about avoiding pain, it's about navigating it with grit and grace. So, how do the resilient rise when the world tries to bury them? Let's dive into the science and stories that reveal the mechanics of this extraordinary human capacity. At the heart of resilience is the concept of cognitive reframing, seeing obstacles not as dead ends, but as detours. Think of it as mental alchemy, transforming fear into fuel, failure into feedback. Studies show that resilient individuals don't deny hardship, they redefine it. They ask, what can I learn from this, rather than, why is this happening to me? This shift in perspective doesn't erase the pain, but it creates a pathway forward. It's the difference between feeling trapped and finding a way out. Emotional regulation is another cornerstone. Resilience isn't about suppressing emotions, it's about mastering them. Picture a storm. The resilient don't try to stop the rain, they learn to dance in it. They acknowledge their fear, their anger, their grief, but they don't let these emotions dictate their actions. Instead, they channel them into productive energy. This isn't just willpower, it's practiced skill. It's the ability to pause, breathe, and choose how to respond, even when the world feels like it's falling apart. Purpose acts as the North Star for the resilient. When chaos strikes, purpose provides direction. Viktor Frankl, a Holocaust survivor, famously wrote that those who found meaning in their suffering were more likely to endure. Purpose doesn't make suffering easier, but it makes it bearable. It's the why that fuels the how. Whether it's a commitment to family, a passion for a cause, or a belief in personal growth, purpose anchors the resilient in the stormiest seas. But here's the most empowering truth: resilience is not innate, it's cultivated. It's built through small, deliberate actions, leaning into discomfort, practicing gratitude, seeking connection. It's forged in the fires of everyday challenges, not just life-altering crises. So, what's stopping you from building your own resilience? The tools are within reach, waiting to be sharpened. The question is, will you pick them up and start forging your own path? What does it take to rise from the ashes of adversity? Is it sheer willpower, or is there something more profound at play? The answer lies in the invisible threads that bind us together: community. Resilience isn't forged in isolation, it's nurtured in the warmth of shared struggles, the strength of collective voices, and the unwavering support of those who refuse to let us fall. Communities act as lifelines, pulling individuals back from the brink and reminding them that they are never truly alone. But what makes this bond so powerful? How does a network of people transform despair into hope, and defeat into triumph? Picture this: a small town devastated by a natural disaster, homes reduced to rubble, lives shattered. Yet, amidst the chaos, something extraordinary happens. Neighbors who barely knew each other's names become pillars of strength. They share food, rebuild homes, and hold vigils for the lost. It's in these moments of shared vulnerability that resilience begins to take root. The community becomes more than a group of individuals, it becomes a collective force, a living testament to the power of unity. Isn't it remarkable how crisis can strip away superficial differences and reveal the raw, unyielding humanity that connects us all? But community support isn't just about grand gestures in times of disaster. It's in the everyday acts of kindness that resilience is quietly sustained. A teacher who notices a struggling student and offers extra help. A friend who listens without judgment when the weight of the world feels unbearable. A stranger who pays it forward with a simple act of generosity. These moments, though small, weave a safety net that catches us when we stumble. They remind us that we are seen, valued, and cared for. How often do we underestimate the impact of these seemingly insignificant interactions? Resilience thrives in environments where empathy and solidarity are not just ideals but lived realities. Think of the immigrant families who find solace in cultural enclaves, preserving traditions while navigating a foreign land. Or the survivors of systemic injustice who band together to demand change, their voices amplified by the chorus of those who stand beside them. These communities don't just provide support, they create identity, purpose, and belonging. They show us that resilience is not just about enduring but about transforming pain into power. Can we truly underestimate the role of these networks in shaping the stories of those who triumph against all odds? The power of community is not a new concept, yet its significance is timeless. From ancient tribes to modern cities, humans have always relied on one another to survive and thrive. But in an age where individualism often overshadows collective well-being, we must ask ourselves, are we doing enough to nurture these connections? Are we creating spaces where people feel safe to share their struggles and celebrate their victories? The stories of resilience we celebrate today are not just about individual heroes, they are about the villages, neighborhoods, and movements that raised them up. What would resilience look like if we all committed to being that village for someone else? What makes resilience more than just a buzzword? What transforms it from a fleeting idea into a deeply rooted biological phenomenon? Science holds the answers, and they are as fascinating as they are profound. Resilience isn't just about mental fortitude, it's etched into our very biology, woven into the fabric of our brains and bodies. When we face adversity, our neurological systems don't just endure, they adapt, rewire, and grow stronger. This isn't poetic speculation, it's hardwired truth. The brain's plasticity is the cornerstone of resilience. Think of it as a sculptor, constantly reshaping itself in response to life's challenges. Studies have shown that the prefrontal cortex, the command center for decision-making and emotional regulation, becomes more active and efficient in resilient individuals. Meanwhile, the amygdala, the brain's alarm system, learns to dial down its overactive responses. It's a delicate dance of biology, a symphony of neurons finding harmony in chaos. But resilience doesn't stop at the brain. The body's stress response system, led by the hypothalamic pituitary adrenal axis, plays a pivotal role. In resilient people, this system doesn't just react, it recalibrates. Cortisol levels, often spiked during stress, normalize more quickly, preventing the corrosive effects of chronic tension. It's as if the body has its own internal repair kit, ready to patch up the wear and tear of life. And then there's epigenetics, the study of how genes are turned on or off by experiences. Research reveals that resilience can be inherited, not just through genes but through the way those genes are expressed. Traumatic events can leave marks, but so can triumph. The story of resilience isn't just written in our DNA, it's edited by our lives, a living manuscript of survival and strength. What does this mean for us? It means resilience isn't a fixed trait, it's a dynamic process, a biological masterpiece in progress. When we talk about bouncing back, we're not just speaking metaphorically. We're describing a profound transformation, a neurological and physiological rebirth. Resilience isn't just about surviving, it's about thriving, fueled by the very science that makes us human. Meet Maria Gonzalez, a name that echoes resilience in the face of insurmountable odds. Born in a remote village in Guatemala, Maria's childhood was marked by poverty, limited access to education, and the constant struggle for survival. Her family toiled in the fields, earning barely enough to put food on the table. But Maria had a fire within her, a determination to break the cycle of hardship. How does a young girl with so little dream so big? Her answer was simple: she refused to accept the life handed to her. At just 12 years old, Maria began walking miles each day to attend a makeshift school, her hunger for knowledge outweighing her physical exhaustion. Fast forward to her teenage years, Maria faced another crushing blow.